Hi. So, okay, mostly the party was fine. Here, I just got a shower. It's kind of weird. Okay. Mostly the party was fine, and people seemed to have fun. My family, my cousins, family friends. It was jolly and festive, and it was nice. And no dramas. Mostly, it was cool. And I felt fine. All the prep leading up to the party was extremely stressful, but then the actual party was nice. Um, however, a little backstory. One of the guests is this woman, Tamara, and she is a lawyer at Caroline's firm. She's kind of newish. She's been there less than a year. But my sister very obviously has a crush on her, which I've seen this in the past with other um, associates. That junior lawyers are called associates anyway. Where so my sister, like months before I ever met Tamara, I'd be like, oh, if I told you about Tamara, she used to be an opera singer, and she's really cute. I mean, actually, she's kind of funny looking, but she's got a lot of personality, and she's really short. She has big boobs, and she's just really cute and funny and smart, and blah blah blah. Like, and she would like tell me these things about Tamara, like repeatedly over months. Like, I was like, oh yeah, the opera singer who's short with big tits, who's cute, and you like her. And so I always get a little creeped out by this kind of thing because I don't know. I guess maybe on some level I'm not comfortable with my sister's sexuality because there have been times where I felt like she was behaving as if she had sexual feelings toward me, and so there's like just this discomfort. And then um, before she ever dated her current girlfriend, when she was straight, and you know, hey, I'm vlogging. I'll be fast. Um, way before she got into a relationship with a woman, she was really into guys. She was obsessed about guys, and I think that's real too. But anyway, she's bisexual. But she would talk about women very often, constantly, in an extremely objectifying way that I hated and made me cringe. Um, she always have to mention their boobs and their butt and their looks and their size and like in a this like drooling male kind of way, but no men I know actually talk about women the way she would. But yet there's so it's an aspect of my sister that I'm like highly uncomfortable with. And actually, since she's been in a relationship with her girlfriend, she's toned down that kind of thing a lot, um, which is good. And I haven't gotten nearly as much vibes from her. Sometimes I catch her looking at my chest, and that's happened even this weekend. And it's like, and you can't talk about it. Like, stop looking at my tits. It's just so. We hear about Tamara. And meanwhile, Tamara's mother lives pretty close to Rocky Point in Port Jeff. Um, and so there's that. And I actually met Tamara last week. I stopped by the office, and um, she seemed she seemed friendly, and like, but I didn't really like her, and I couldn't exactly put a finger on it. I already knew from my sister that she's sort of a Jewish American princess. On Long Island, it's called a jab. It's probably totally derogatory, but like a rich Jewish girl. I don't know, whatever. But she had she was fine. I just, you know what it was? There's so much buildup of how awesome she was, and when I met her last week, she didn't make that much of an impression. I didn't dislike her, but I didn't like her. I didn't click with her. And I felt really awkward because she was very well dressed in an office business way, but I had my white fuzz hair. I had my hair. I was with my damaged hair, my pre-fixed hair, and I was sweating and hot, and I just felt like because those my own insecurities there. Like I heard she was rich and fabulous, and I felt gross. So I might have been judging her in a way coming from my insecurities. So la-di-da. Um, Caroline's like, I invited her to the party, and Charles and his kids are going to stay at her mother's place. Because there's a few people that want to come to the party, but it would be a huge trip for them to go back home. But we had a full house, and so Tamara was like, oh, and Charles was one of the lawyers that was there. Oh, Charles can stay at my mom's house. We have plenty of room. We've got like 17 bedrooms, and it's really nice. We have a swimming pool and a tennis court. So, um, so Charles and his two sons were gonna stay there, and Tamara had told my sister like, if anyone else needs to crash, like that's totally fine. So that's nice, I mean, it's appreciated. At the time, I was like, that's cool. That's great. Charles doesn't have to drive back to New Jersey. Um, so, so then yesterday at the party, she was um, she was fine. She's very gracious, has good manners, but there's something, I guess, maybe phony or not completely sincere, but not like phony like she has an agenda, like she's not evil, but um, just not presenting a real self in some way, like really friendly, but like it just doesn't feel like I just cannot connect with her. And she was nice, and she didn't do anything wrong at the party, but um, so meanwhile there's Patrick, who originally was going to come out with his wife and two kids, but there was complications with that. He just came himself, and he had assumed he could crash at our place. But at first, we didn't think we had room. But then my brother Danny decided he was going to go. There's da da da. People changing their plans, and finally, I told Patrick, I was like, you can totally stay here. We have room. And he's like, great. He really likes me. He loves Caroline. Um, and the party's kind of winding down, and Tamara. Oh god, the other side thing is that let's put aside Patrick, and her friend Bo, who we're living with, who seems really nice. Um, they took the train in from the city, and their train they didn't get a train at 8, and the party started at 3. And they took a cab from the train, so they got here at like 8:30, and barely. Bo hugged me, but Beast, I was like, hi, Allison. She was like, hi. And they mingled for a while, and then at 9:30, Tamara was ready to go, and was like, anybody that's coming with me, like, let's go. And she, and so Charles and his two sons, like, got their stuff, and I was walking out the door, and then Allison and Bo get up to go. And Caroline's like, where are you going? Like, what are you doing? And Caroline had been excited that Allison was going to sleep over here, and sleep with Caroline in Poppy's room, and Poppy's going to stay with us. And we bought an air conditioner for the room because my sister told me that Beast wouldn't sleep here unless we had an air conditioner. And Beast is just like, I want to go to Tamara's. She has a swimming pool, and it's going to be a lot nicer than this. So Caroline's like, okay. And then they leave. They walk out the door. And then, okay, so put that aside for a second because there's more of that. And then I'm sitting talking with Patrick. Paul and I are talking with Patrick. And she goes up to Patrick. She doesn't really know him. She's just met him today for the first time. She goes, come on, we're going. And he's like, oh, I was going to stay here. Caroline wanted me to stay here. And she was like, I already told Caroline that you're leaving. And Patrick was slightly drunk. He starts to get up, and he's like, okay. And I was like, Patrick, I was like, you could stay here. I was like, and then I didn't want to get into like a battle, so I was like, whatever, do what you want. It's fine. Because I was thinking like, well, maybe he would rather sleep. Everyone kept calling Tamara's mother's house the palace, so maybe he'd rather sleep at the palace. How could I blame him? And so he starts to get up and like get his stuff, and then I'll like, and then like 5 minutes go by, and then all of a sudden he's like, to Tamara right in front of me, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna stay here. Like I said, I was gonna stay here, and that's what I'm gonna do. And she's like, okay. Like she looked pissed. Paul thinks that she thought he was like a single man. She doesn't really know him, and Paul thinks that she's man crazy because of things that she says at work. Paul works with her, so I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. But she was just really like, okay. And then, so they leave. And then a couple of hours later, Caroline went to get something from her car, and it was gone. And she was like, where's my car? Like, where's my car? And she's like, did Al take my car? And she calls Allison, and she's like, did you take my car? And Allison's like, yeah. What? You couldn't fit in Tamara's car. So she just took my sister's car without saying anything, not asking or telling or informing, nothing. And then that was fucked up. Anyway, that was really fucked up. So then, okay, whatever. Then Caroline's like, okay, thank you. I'm just glad it's not stolen. Like doormat. Um, okay. So the night is winding down. We've stayed up really late, and the night started winding down. And Caroline's like, so Tamara's mom is like having a breakfast tomorrow, so I'm gonna go to that, and can I borrow your car? And I was like, so you can go have breakfast in Port Jeff with like Tamara? And I was like, because we now only have one car because Jacqueline borrowed our car for her kids to go to the bed and breakfast. So now we only have the Prius. And I'm like, I guess so. And she's like, oh wait, I don't know how to drive the Prius. So then Patrick is like, oh, I'll drive you, like, So I was like, so you guys are gonna go to like bagel breakfast at Tamara's mom's? And she's like, yeah, but we'll be back at like 10. So I woke up, slept late, woke up at 11, and they weren't around. And I called her and I was like, what's going on? It sounds like there's like this party at Tamara's mom's. And she's like, well, we had breakfast, and now we're just drinking coffee and talking. And I was like, oh, I thought you were gonna be back at 10. And she's like, really snippy and snappy with me. And she's like, what do you want me to do? And I was like, hold on. I don't want you to do anything. I just want to know what you're doing. Because I just thought that you were going to be here at 10. And you're not. And so I'm just, but just let me know what you're doing. And meanwhile, I have Jacqueline's two daughters that are 11 and 13 here. And I don't know them that well. And they really love Carol Ann. And so it was a lovely. So she was like, I'll be home at 12. And she's like, I'll be home by 12. It's now 12:07. They're not here, and I don't know when I'll be back. So I hung up from that. And Paul was like, Paul, am I? And I was about to say, am I crazy? Or is this like kind of fucked up? And all I said was, am I? He goes, no, there's been sabotage. Anyway, so I have to really jump off of this right now because we have to go take the girls out to the diner because that's what we're going to do. And I hope it's not awkward. And Paul's probably annoyed with me because we were going to go and I haven't had time to eat for 13 minutes. But I had to get it out. Okay, I'll talk to you later.